Now at 9, a Burris Laboratory School student protest against ICE moved to Ball State University's campus. We have the details.
Plus, hear more about the decision on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's detainment.
And learn more about the death of civil rights leader Jesse Jackson.
Plus, a man has been arrested after charging the U.S. Capitol building with a loaded gun. Find out more.
I've got the details on windy conditions. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Amelia Winter.
And I'm Lauren Burris.
All across the country, students are walking out in the protest of immigration customs enforcement. Today, students from Burris Laboratory School and the Indiana Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Humanities in Muncie joined the movement.
NewsLink Indiana's Abby Urban has the story.
Immigrants are welcome here!
When you come out and you protest and people join you, you see that you have power in your voice. People around you see that they have power in your voice and that what you say matters. And we are in a country, in a world where your voice has power.
Break the chains and smash the wall!
Chants and cheers filled the streets as students from Burris Laboratory and the Indiana Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Humanities walked out to protest ICE. Signs and flags followed backpacks and sneakers.
Think that it should be calmed down or quieted or silenced is what I'm trying to say, because it's just not right.
Along with the high school students, some Ball State students joined and even cheered them on.
And I'm asked all the time, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep saying something? Why do you keep fighting if there's such a big threat? It's because I'm not gonna let that threat pass on to their generation.
I sound now! I sound now!
No matter what, even if you think that the timing is wrong, if you think that it's performative, no matter what, protesting is and will always be something that is important.
In Muncie, Abby Urban, NewsLink Indiana.
There has been another ruling in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Salvadoran immigrant unlawfully deported last year. A federal judge ruled today that Abrego Garcia cannot be re-detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's another blow to the Trump administration's effort to keep him locked up while it attempts to deport him again. The injunction follows an emergency order the same judge handed down in December that also blocked officials from taking Abrego Garcia into immigration custody. But unlike the earlier ruling, the government can appeal the new one up to a Richmond, Virginia-based federal appeals court. Abrego Garcia was unlawfully deported to El Salvador last year, then brought back to the U.S. to face federal human smuggling charges in Tennessee.
Still no end in the sight to the partial federal government shutdown. Today, the White House rejected the Democrats' latest offer to end the shutdown, and a White House official says the two sides remain pretty far apart. The official said the Trump administration remains interested in good faith conversations to end the shutdown before Americans start to feel the impacts. But they maintain that the administration is committed to continued immigration enforcement. Democrats want additional oversight over immigration operations before they help pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Some of their demands include having federal agents wear body cameras and remove their masks, and tighten rules around warrants for searches and arrests.
Tributes have been pouring in for civil rights leader and trailblazing presidential candidate Jesse Jackson. Jackson died peacefully this morning in Chicago, according to his nonprofit. He was 84 years old. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson, a protege of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who became a towering civil rights leader himself, has died at age 84.
Make no mistake about it, Jesse Jackson was unique in American history, and I hope that his legacy lives on a new generation of Americans who might draw from that energy.
Jackson died peacefully and surrounded by his family, according to a statement from the Rainbow Push Coalition, the nonprofit social justice organization he founded. He had been hospitalized in recent months as he dealt with a degenerative brain disease, progressive supranuclear palsy. Jackson's passing, mourned Tuesday by those who worked closely with him.
He never stopped. I once said to him, "You already in history. You've gotten all the honors. Why do you keep going?" He said, "I never learned how to retire."
And by those inspired by him.
He told us to get involved, to be involved with helping the next person, being an example for the next person.
More than 2 decades before Barack Obama was elected the first black president of the United States, Jackson made White House bids in 1984 and 1988.
We must come together.
And challenged Democrats to expand and reshape the party.
He shifted the party and shifted the rules of the party to bring more people in. How many people owe their political lives to what Jesse Jackson did? He never just ran for himself.
In a statement, the NAACP called Jackson, quote, a lifelong soldier for justice. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The Rainbow Push Coalition says public observances for Jackson will take place in Chicago in the coming days.
Washington, D.C. police say a man was arrested after he allegedly charged the Capitol building with a loaded shotgun this afternoon. Police say the 18-year-old was wearing a tactical vest and carrying additional rounds. Police have not identified the suspect, but say he complied with orders after being told to drop his gun. He was then taken into custody. Police say a helmet and a gas mask were also found inside the vehicle, which they say was not registered in his name. A motive for the would-be attack has not yet been determined, but lawmakers are currently on recess. Lauren, this weather we've been having has been so nice lately.
It's so unexpected. I mean, I thought
know.
Punxsutawney Phil said we had 6 more weeks of winter, but hey, I'm not complaining.
I know, it's like a spring warm-up, like early spring.
I know.
Yes.
I pitched my coat out and put on a short sleeve shirt, and I was so happy.
I know, like no coat needed. Woo,
Exactly.
woo. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a look at the weather with Elizabeth.
We've definitely had those warm temperatures, and those really might not be sticking around for much longer, so you might want to bring that coat back out, Lauren. Those current temperatures, though, we're sitting at the mid to low 50s all across the board, with that low tonight being 51 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions, with those winds coming in from the south-southwest at 15 miles an hour, but those gusts of wind gusting at 30 miles an hour. And in my full forecast, I'll be tracking increasing winds, and will we reach up to that record high for Wednesday and Thursday thunderstorms.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The 91st Annual Student Art Show opened last Friday in Ball State's Ned and Gloria Greiner Art Gallery. NewsLink Indiana's Tatum Harris spoke to 2 featured students about their showcased artwork.
Student artists were encouraged to submit 3 different pieces to be assessed by a qualified juror. Across all fine arts programs, more than 500 pieces were submitted and voted on this year. Kylie Cole, a third-year photography student, has been submitting her art for evaluation each year since she started at Ball State. Though Cole has faced rejection before, she is proud of the hard work and long hours spent in the photography studio that have pushed her to become a better artist. Cole's darkroom print, a high-contrast nature photo, is now on display at the gallery.
So I don't know, it's always about trying again. If you don't do anything or submit your work, you never know, so.
It was Cole's encouragement that convinced 4th-year animation student Paige Coleman to enter her own work to be juried.
Because they just believed in my ability, and we, created that environment where it was all about, we're all very talented people and we need to recognize that in each other.
Coleman has 3 watercolor paintings on display in the gallery, each centered around personal experiences, childhood wonder, and imaginative self-perception. Though Coleman opted not to submit her work for the Student Art Show in the past, her work is now being featured in the same room as her best friends. Cole and Coleman are excited to be sharing this milestone together as students and as artists.
Like stare at it for sometimes and be like, wow, I really did get put in the show.
In Muncie, Tatum Harris, NewsLink, Indiana.
The receptions and awards ceremony for the Student Art Show in the Ned and Gloria Greiner Art Gallery will take place on February 21st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. To support these students, you can visit the gallery located on the 1st floor of the Art and Journalism building on Ball State's campus.
Coming up, an update on the continued search for Nancy Guthrie.
And Mark Zuckerberg has been set to testify in a lawsuit against Meta.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She carried 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back. The Nancy Guthrie investigation is facing another setback. The sheriff says DNA from gloves found near her home did not return any matches. It was processed through the FBI's DNA database, which contains more than 19 million offender samples. It also doesn't match DNA found at the home. DNA from the property is still being analyzed. Detectives are also reviewing evidence they got through 2 search warrants that were executed last week. The sheriff's department says investigators are showing local businesses the doorbell video released by the FBI to see if the suspect looks familiar. So far, though, no arrests have been made as the search for the Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother continues in its 3rd week.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is set to face what could be his most critical audience yet. He is scheduled to testify in Los Angeles tomorrow in a lawsuit brought by a woman and her mother. The now 20-year-old claims Instagram and YouTube purposely designed features on their platforms to addict young users. She says she became addicted as a child and it harmed her mental health. Zuckerberg is no stranger to the stand. 2 years ago, he apologized to grieving parents who said social media contributed to their children's deaths. But that was in front of the Senate. This time, he'll appear in front of a jury. There are more than 1,500 similar lawsuits, but this is the first to go to trial.
The Supreme Court says it will begin to use software that will identify cases that could be a potential conflict of interest for justices. The software will compare a case's parties to lists of individuals and organizations the justices have ties to. The system was designed by the court's IT department. The High Court also announced it will instruct parties to include their stock ticker symbols in their filings to assist in the new checks. Currently, the justices police their own obligations to judicial ethics. There is no outside body that holds them accountable to the same rules that govern the rest of the judiciary. While the justices will indicate whether they have rescued themselves from a case, some will give a reason for why they are doing so.
Stephen Colbert is using humor to criticize CBS for pulling his interview with a Democratic candidate. The guest is James Tallarico, who's running for a Texas Senate seat. He alleges the FCC and Chair Brendan Carr are trying to silence him. Colbert appears to agree and crack, quote, "Sir, you're chairman of the FCC, so FCC you," end quote. That agency says it's trying to enforce a new take on an old rule about politicians on the airways. CBS released a statement saying The Late Show wasn't prohibited from running the interview. The network says they told the show that broadcasting the interview could trigger the FCC's equal time rule.
Will we reach that record warmth tomorrow? Find out after the break.
After his wife passed, my neighbor Larry started drinking a lot. He was in distress and acting out. He had guns around, and I didn't want anything bad to happen. I pressed pause. Our local authorities filed a firearm restraining order to temporarily remove the guns. It gave Larry the time he needed to get help. It wasn't easy, but we got through it together. Learn more at illinois.gov/pause to heal.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Taking a look outside that Cooper Science Cam, we are seeing those clouds fill up all across Ball State's campus this evening with those current temperatures remaining in the low 50s all across our board. And even taking a closer look here in our viewing area, we're still sitting at those low 50s all across, but the outlier being in Richmond, 45 degrees. Those temperatures remain rather consistent all throughout the next 12 hours with that low. Tonight being 51 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions with those winds coming from the south-southwest at 15 miles an hour, but the gust of wind is really the main story here of 30-mile-an-hour gust of wind. And this really carries over into tomorrow as well. Around 8 a.m. tomorrow, 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and then by 10 a.m. we're seeing even up to 34-mile-an-hour wind gusts around our viewing area. This wind gust doesn't decrease much as we go further out into the day. By 5 p.m. we're seeing 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and then this finally we see some relief as we go out into early Thursday morning. Now for tomorrow, not only is the wind gust a concern of ours, but also we have some rain chances in the early morning hours. 8 a.m. 55 degrees, we're definitely going to want that raincoat in the morning. By noon, 62 degrees, and by 5 p.m. 65 degrees. Those winds are going to come in about 15 to 20 miles an hour, and this temperatures are rather warm, in which we might reach that record warmth. Like I mentioned in a couple of my teases there, 67 set back in 2017 is that record high, and we just might reach that tomorrow with that sunshine. And we also have those rain chances, like I mentioned at 8 a.m. We have that rain, which we have a 60% chance of that rainfall for tomorrow, a 70% on Thursday, and those rain chances, really, we don't have that at all for the rest of the week. But let's map out those rain chances that we do have. So for tomorrow morning, we do see that rain in our viewing area there, but then that does clear out, leaving us with those sunny conditions, allowing us to possibly reach up to that record warmth. And then we see those clouds pull back into our viewing area, and then we have those lingering showers into tomorrow or Thursday morning. And then the rest of Thursday, we see those spotty scattered showers, cloudy conditions, and then all of Thursday night, we're seeing the entire state of Indiana in this rain. And we have possible thunderstorms also. So we see this darker region here, which is those possible thunderstorms. And then this does clear out by Friday evening, and then afternoon, and we have those sunnier conditions. But we do see those above average temperatures, and really those might not really stick around. With that rain, it might bring out that warm front and bring in a cold front, which we do see that reflect in my 7-day forecast here. For tomorrow, windy conditions might be reaching that record high of 67. On Thursday, though, we have that 70% chance of those thunderstorms. By Friday, 48. By Saturday, 43. Sunday, those temperatures start to cool back down with a 20% chance of those snow flurries, reaching below freezing by Monday, 37 on Tuesday, and those lows are remaining in the below freezing by early next week. So definitely going to want to enjoy the warmth while we have it and keep out those winter coats because we'll need them.
Oh, that's so sad. I was so excited for some warmer weather, but everyone refrain yourselves from making the joke.
I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, like we're in the fall spring right now.
I know,
it's like so nice.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a tease for it, but hopefully we get that back.
Yes, hope so. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Jackson White has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Amelia and Lauren. A Ball State men's volleyball player has won a rare award. And find out what Ball State athletics were in the top 100 students. All this and more next in sports.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game?
To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jackson White with sports. For the first time in a long time, a Cardinal is being recognized for his efforts. Junior Lucas McAdoo was named AVCA National Collegiate Player of the Week. This marks the first time in 4 years that a men's volleyball player here at BSU was named to this award. The last recipient from Ball State was Angelos Mandelaris in 2022. McAdoo will look to continue leading the Cards when they take on the number 13 Ohio State Buckeyes on Thursday. From the uneven bars to the locker room, mentorship is the secret weapon for all Ball State gymnastics this season. NewsLink Indiana's Emma Bergman has the insight on how these athletes are coaching one another.
For these gymnast successes isn't just measured in the scores, it's the teammates who help guide them along the way.
I think it's really special to be able to kind of mentor them and kind of see them go from the club gymnast that they were as a senior to kind of finding their footing in college gymnastics. So it's, yeah, I would say definitely really special and really rewarding, I think, just to see how far they've come.
They have so much experience when it comes to competing in big arenas and just like under pressure. And so I think that they really help just calm our nerves and do what we have to do.
But in gymnastics, it isn't just about the older girls showing the freshmen tips and tricks. In this sport, your mind is your toughest opponent, and having that older sister dynamic is what transforms a group of athletes into a resilient team.
I like to kind of grab their hands and look them in the eyes and be like, okay, deep breath and and we're good. You've put in the numbers, you've done this a million times before, it's no more, no less. And just that little like pep talk of like, just breathe, like you know what you're doing.
It's such a high pressure sport sometimes. You're always just want to do your best, try your best to be perfect. So just having those people that know how to calm you down and know what you need to do your best is, yeah.
I see so much of my younger self. I think there's a lot of joy behind their eyes, and I know that I still feel that. So just seeing them and then being reminded of like the joy that I feel doing gymnastics is just something amazing.
In Muncie, Emma Bergman, NewsLink, Indiana.
From excellence on the beams to excellence in the classroom, Ball State released their top 100 students, and quite a few athletes made the list. In a record-setting year, athletics placed 10 students in the top 100, beating the previous record of 8. The Ball State Top 100 Students list honors the best 100 juniors and seniors that best represent the core of beneficence. Of the 10 featuring Benjamin Clarkson, Macy Easton, Jasmine Driscoll, Macy Hoskins, and Ava Molina placed inside the top 50. And really getting on the top 100 list is quite hard, but the top 50, that's even harder for these athletes.
I know.
Well, speaking of top 100s, we actually have one of the students here with us on desk, so I think that's pretty awesome. Congratulations.
A little bit of a celebrity, you might say.
Oh my gosh, but those student athletes are working so hard inside and outside the classroom.
No, seriously. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Jackson.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up, find out how one neighborhood celebrates a Chicago tradition.
And we have one final look at your weather. Stay with us.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Fat Tuesday marks the last day before Lent, but in one Chicago neighborhood, it is celebrated for another reason. Punchkis are Polish pastries and a beloved tradition for Chicagoans on Fat Tuesday. Bakeries in Elk Grove Village are bustling as people line up to get their hands on the sweet treat. Punchkis are deep-fried donuts often filled with fruit preserves, custard, or sweet cream, and dusted with powdered sugar. They're a staple of Fat Tuesday, also known as Punchki Day, marking the last day before the beginning of Lent. Now, I don't know about you, but those punchis sound amazing.
Yeah,
and I really want to try that.
It's making me really hungry.
I know,
it looks so
same.
good.
And we don't have anything like that because I'm from a small town, but
Yeah.
you're from Illinois, so.
And I've never been, but
you're gonna have to go, I guess.
Maybe we'll have to go.
Yeah. So what's that weather looking like? Is it Punchki weather?
It just might be for a little bit longer, but not for much longer. Let's take a look at that. So on Wednesday, we might be reaching that record high, like I mentioned, set back in 2017, 67 degrees, windy conditions though. On Thursday, those PM thunderstorms, 70% 20% chance of those thunderstorms on Thursday. Friday, that temperature cools down to 48, 43 on Saturday. Then those temperatures really cool down by Sunday, a 20% chance of those flurries. And then we start to see those below freezing temperatures on Monday, 32 on Monday and 37 on Tuesday, with those lows remaining rather chilly and even getting down to those below freezing by the early next week. So again, gonna want to enjoy the warmth a little bit longer. So take a walk and enjoy the sunshine while we can.
I do like the rain though, but it's sad that it comes with some cold.
I know, we have that cold front moving in after, so.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to CarvilleMediaBSU.com. Have a great night and stay safe.